Hi there, TaffyRue here, and welcome to another exciting episode of Features by TaffyRue, where we get to put the spotlight on young upcoming artists and creatives who are bubbling under. So, in the work that I do, I come across a lot of hip hop artists, Christian hip hop artists, but it's not every day that you come across a female MC or a female Christian hip hop artist. And that's why I'm really excited to be having this conversation today. With me, I have got Chido, aka Cverb. I have known about her, I've known of her for a number of years because our paths have crossed, as we've shared the same stages, but also we share the same acquaintances. But today is the very first day that we get to sit down and have a chat, especially as female artists in the urban gospel arena. So I'm super excited to be having this conversation today. Cverb, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. So for those those people who don't know who you are, maybe you can start by telling us who is Cverb.
Okay, so my name is Cverb. My birth name is Chido Valerie Mbuvah. I am an artist. I am a Christian hip hop artist. I also do poetry and spoken word.
Okay, nice. How long have you been doing it? How did you get into being a Christian hip hop artist? Like I mentioned in the intro, Muriva Shoma. So how did you end up in that world?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right to the beginning then. It's 10 years now. We're in 2025. It's been 10 years since I've been doing this.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're actually celebrating it. But okay, how it started. I used to attend a lot of Christian hip hop concerts that I used to throw back in the day when I was a teen, right? Okay. And I got inspired by it, but I already was doing poetry and I had a thing for writing things that rhymed, and I enjoyed listening to people doing that, like in the music, even at the live concerts and everything. And I was sold out because I was like, how are these people so cool and also love God, and be unashamed? And I really fell into it, and I met the people, I got to speak to them, and they were like, hey, you actually have something. Okay. And at first I was like, no way, so I would hang out in the studio sometimes and just watch them do, like, hey, sometimes I actually get people to like write something and then be like, try it, because I'm used to writing poetry, but poetry is different from rap because now you're confined to a beat and all those things. Okay. So I had to learn like the techniques of how to write bars and all those things. And I appreciate the artists that were there at the time, the likes of Noise, Courtney Antipas, those people. Prophecy, they are my brothers for life at this point, because they held my hand and they pushed me to be able to actually then establish myself as an artist. So that's how it began. That was back in 2015. Okay. That's when I started doing it seriously, and there was just so much support from the brothers, even those I didn't mention by name. There was just so much support from the industry. Yeah. Okay.
And why do you do what you do? Like, what inspires your craft?
So for me, it's really the feedback that you get. Because at first I was like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be doing this in the first place, because it's a male-dominated industry, and you see just a lot of guys doing it, and you think, I don't think I'm gonna last in this thing. But then the one time, and that was back then, my writing wasn't it, like where you'd think, oh, this is now like a baked person. But then you still hear a grown person like telling you how the music inspired them or made them come back to God, or how they related to the lyrics, even as simple as they were then or whatever. So that for me was always such a fulfilling feeling. Okay, someone actually got to experience some ray of hope, or to see that God's there and he's there through things that you don't expect, because we're used to having gospel preached over a pulpit,
Mm-hmm.
but then to have it change your life and, you know, your lifestyle, and even just to look up at those people and be like, hey, I want to be cool like these people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like they're not doing what everyone else is doing and they're still cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want to be that person for the younger generation as well,
Okay.
you know, as I was coming up. And yeah, that's how it's been.
So what has kept you in the game for 10 years? Because I think before we press play on the podcast, we're talking about how
It's
it
been
is
hectic.
hectic.
It's not
Yeah.
easy. It is not easy.
Mhm.
I think when I began, I had so much energy.
Mhm.
I remember I could go like to a concert on Friday, like 2 concerts on a Friday,
Mhm.
2 concerts on a Saturday, and maybe something
Eish.
Sunday afternoon, and
Uh-huh.
I feel nothing. I'd
Yeah.
be okay, you know? And then I started working, because I started doing this when I was still in college.
Mhm.
You know, when you're in college, you think you have pressure. You-
Yeah.
You don't know what life, you know, has
Yeah.
in store for you.
Uh-huh.
And so I was doing music in college, then graduated, and then that gap year I really got to like really explore. It was fun.
Mhm.
And then I started working, but you know, when you start working, it's entry point level, so
Yeah.
the stress is not the same.
Yeah.
And you know, and then the age starts catching up, and now responsibilities kumba, they're now like, hey, you didn't bring bread, you know, because
Hey.
now you're no longer mama kuna chingwa, you're the one, you know, who's bringing
Who's bringing the bread?
who's bringing the bread, you know. And now you realize, okay, wait, I need to work hard, you know.
Yeah.
So you're working hard at work.
Mhm.
And then there's the music, and yes, I was passionate and everything, right? And I did push, but there was a time when I did like I just had a sabbatical. I was like, I need
Yeah.
to rest.
How long was the sabbatical?
It was a year. It was
Okay.
a year, and I had people yelling at me, random people.
But 10 years is not long though.
Yeah, people were like, "Hey, you're sleeping." Hey,
Hey.
you know, I felt so much pressure. But I was like,
Mhm.
you know what? I'm gonna crash out if I continue doing this.
Yeah.
And I just needed like recluse and just rethink
Yeah.
well, what's going on, and even like, you know, with your personal life, and you're growing and the
Mhm.
changes, and you just needed a time to like, let me breathe,
Yeah.
okay, and just shut out social media and just
Yeah.
you know, be you know. And that was important for me. But of course, I came back. I was dragged back.
What brought you back?
So I have a circle around me, and those people,
Uh-huh.
they never let me rest. Like every time, and they'd be like, I was like, you know, I think I've done enough, because this was like maybe 7 years into it. And I was like, I think I've done
Yeah.
enough, you know. I mean, and they're like, dude, how old are you even to be saying that, you know? And I was like,
Uh-huh.
you have no idea the things, because for me, the music is personal.
Mhm.
So it's like you're putting your heart out there for people to pick at and to say all these things and whatnot, right? And then you also are put up at a certain standard, like a pedestal.
Yeah.
And you cannot be seen faltering or
Yeah.
anything. And so there's this turmoil. It's internal. Like, obviously you don't show it, but you go through it alone, because you are alone
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And it was a lot for me. I was like, I cannot keep up, you know, be nice in the streets. People are like, yo, see, and you have to smile. There's so much stress going on. And,
Yeah.
you know, it was just a lot. I was like, you guys have no idea. I've put what I can.
Mhm.
Then God, I think, that was God. God will just be there throwing out like huge clues, like, hey, I think it's time for you to come back.
Yeah.
You know, randomly you'd have a radio station calling you, like, hey, you've been quiet. What's new? What are you doing? And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, what? You know, even
I'm not doing anything.
you know, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Next thing, we're looking at Christian hip hop artists, and we're thinking we should put you up on a lineup. I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, you know, there
Yeah.
are so many other people. You know, think of
Yeah.
other people. And people are like, no, we need representation.
Uh-huh.
That's another thing.
Uh-huh.
Because I realized that when I was coming up, there were many females that were there doing the rap thing,
Mhm.
but then they got swallowed with life, kinda, you know. And I remember feeling upset, like at some of them, like,
Yeah.
you just let me here, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I'm doing, and now I have to look for guidance from guys who don't get it, you know,
Yeah.
the way. And it just ended up like, the more you grow, you actually understand them. You're like, oh, I get it. Oh, this is what was going on with you. Okay,
I can completely relate, because like I remember when I was coming up, and I would listen to the radio, and there was these amazing like female artists, you know, singers and stuff. Then they'll just go fall off the radar, and you're like, cool, how far?
What
you
is
know?
wrong with you? You know, yeah.
And like I would like be so upset with them. I'm like, you know, we need
you feel
more
like
of
they
this.
owe you, like-
Exactly. But
Yeah.
when I grew up, I was like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I wish I had their numbers. I could call them up and be like,
Give
I'm
them a
so
hug."
sorry for being so upset with you. I get
Yeah.
you. I understand.
Right?
So, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so this happened, right? And I kept on getting these huge, like, people are like, dude, even if you think maybe we are just trying to pull you back, but look at the signs, like, they're calling you back. And I was like, okay, God, if this is what we're supposed to do, let's continue. And then I came back. I started working in studio. I started doing features. I started doing shows, and it was difficult coming back. It felt like I was asleep, and now I have to stretch my body. Next thing, the stamina is not the same. Like, there's just a lot, and you suddenly don't have the patience for some of the things that you could try back then. Now I'm like,
don't waste my time.
Don't do that. And and then you're seeing the upcoming artists as well. And and I'm grown. I'm saying upcoming artists. Okay, but like when you're seeing the young crop coming up, and they've got so much energy. I'm like, you remind me of me. And I hope you stay that way, because wow, what's ahead, guys? But so I came back for them also, because I'm like, I think it's unfair for us to just sleep and expect them to figure it out on their own. Because I was inspired by, I'm from Bulawayo, right? And there were people like Church Boy, ASAF Africa, Luminous. These are names I'm just mentioning, but these were people that were hot at the time. And we're kids. We're like, I don't know, probably 18, 19. And they were having a concert. The concert was called Bigger Than Hip Hop. It shut down the whole city. It was huge. And I remember asking my mom to go there, and my mom, she understands that when I want something, I'm like, Mom, just to continue, I'll do everything just to go. And we did. And I got to meet Calvin, the late, and he took us in. He's like, you guys, come through, come see the concert. We met all the guys. He was mentoring a bunch of guys there, and they were all so talented. And they were sold out for Christ. For me, that was, how is it? Because, growing up, it seems like it's a whack thing or something. But those guys were cool. Like, even from the way they dressed, their music was urban, and it was actually competing with the circular music. And I was taken. I was like, wow, you guys are so cool. And even when I joined like the group, it wasn't as an artist. I was there like, I want to help you guys market, because people need to hear this. Exactly. You guys are amazing, And this was from Bulawayo. So I came here because I was now staying. So I was kind of both jumping from Bulawayo and Harare.
Okay.
And I remember I would try and plug into like the youth ministries here, like BCC, New Life and whatever. And the Switch was also like, it was like the country was alive. Like, people were actively.
When was this?
This is 2013, 2012, 14, that time. Things were really booming, so Bulawayo would come through, and it was, I was excited. Never thought I would be one of those people, I never, but I think God just orchestrated it to be that way, for me to actually see how the process works, then to actually then become there. So so that thing that it did for me, because I think it saved me. I could have gone a totally different direction, because the gift was there, is there, or whatever, right? And someone else could have come and picked me up, and I could have been on the other spectrum of things, doing things, and not, because they could sell that whole thing, which were going to make you hot, like you're going to charira, chapisa, and whatever, all these things. And it was very easy for that to happen. But it was important for me to see cool people doing this and doing it for Christ. And, my soul was changed. Okay. So I feel like we owe it back to the upcoming guys to do it. So that's part of the reason why I came back. I was like, okay, we cannot just, so if we're gonna move, and let's leave the notes.
So obviously, like we touched on a little bit when you're talking about how it is hard to balance being an adulting and being an artist. And that's one of the reasons why you actually took a break. How are you coping with it now? How are you managing that internal fight between trying to do the music, do what you love, but also be a responsible human being,
paying bills and stuff. It's really a circle thing for me, like, and also choosing the voices that you listen to, because the whole pressure and the burnout comes from society and its expectations, because let's be real, the expectations are not realistic to a person, like a human being, and people expect you to be a certain person forever. It's not like, because we're not one-dimensional like that. We have so many facets to ourselves. So for me, I then realized, or with time, I just learned to, do you know what? You tune out the rest of the noise and you listen to the people who actually have your back. The people who want to see you go forward. The people who want to see you well-rounded. Like you're taking care of your mental health. You're taking care of your health, and everything. And everything's just coming through together. So when I came back now, I was intentional. Kuti, I'm not gonna make music, Kuti, because this is what the radio is saying, so I should. No, this is how I feel, and this is how I'm going to express. And I think the older you become, the more bolder you are with your expression. You're not afraid or whatever. So for me, it just goes on. And even my music now, it's more oriented on family. Like I always press on that, because for me, that is my circle. And those people keep me sane.
Yeah.
Because the world is a crazy place.
It is.
And if you want to live on likes and whatnot... Yeah, so that's how I've been coping now. So with work is hectic. I'm not even gonna lie, like sometimes you stay up at night, just trying to balance this, and then you also have to have the craft out. So for me, my craft is very pushy on its own. Like when I'm inspired by something, I could have a report that has an impossible deadline. But then that piece is gonna keep on ringing in my head, like you have to write, like, so what's the next line after this? And you're thinking, but my boss wants to see, but you're thinking, no, but so it's such a crazy self-discipline, really. But then the thing is, when you if you want to ignore that thing, it goes away completely sometimes. So I'm like, okay, 5 minutes. You write down your piece and then you go back to it. Trying to balance it, because you need to serve like everything. All around. And at the end of the day, it kind of works out. It's not easy, but we're doing it.
Because at the end of the day as well, like we were saying before we press play on the podcast, that, being a musician doesn't look like what we see on television or online, where you're doing full time. And also in terms of, you need the job to fund the music a lot of the times. You need to go and hustle and then come back and then fund it, because obviously you're gonna need the looks, the outfits, you're gonna need the money for advertising, you're going to need transport, studio time, all of that costs money. So where you gonna get that money? So you gotta get a job. For a lot of us, it works that way. You have to work and then you invest in that. Interesting. Okay, so you talked a bit about it when you were talking earlier on about being a female in the industry, right? So obviously being a musician is hard. Start on board, male or female, right?
Yeah.
We have that additional layer on of being a female in the industry. And then on top of that, hip hop, right? What has that journey been like for you? And what kind of, lessons have you learned that can help the next female MC, the next female hip hop artist? Okay. So maybe we can start with how has that journey been for you as a female? You mentioned though that you had brothers that you looked up to. How did that help you as a musician?
Okay, so being a female artist in general, right? And you're trying to find your way around things, the studios. I did not just stumble on the good studios. you go to some studios and the people, they expect you to, vibe immediately. You don't even know these people, and you're supposed to, next thing, they're trying to touch you inappropriately and like, and I remember there's this one time, it was a session and I was like, I'm uncomfortable with this. This is not gonna work. And I'm like, this is not what I'm, trying to do. And people are like, no, you're just going to the wrong place, And then, thankfully, I met Courtney. Courtney was the first person I got to record with and feel like, hey, okay, so this is what a studio session actually look like. And you feel safe, you're protected, Now we're family. Like I always joke about how I'm like an extension of the colored family now and stuff. And it's but it's safe, And I've heard horror stories about what happens in studios. And people do this because, like you were mentioning, the studio fees are crazy. Yeah. So someone is just going to put up an option like, hey, you could, and then you get your whole album done or something. And it's such a high price to pay for getting your craft out there. And I thank God that he just led me to this, and then from there I just started connecting. Goes, oh, so you could work with this and that and that, right? And even when we go to like the rowdy studios, I usually go with the fam. Like usually I don't go there on my own. It's usually like a feature with someone. And those guys, they are so protective. I am so grateful for my CHH family. Like they'll be there. Like, see, are you good? Are you okay? You know, no one is coming up to me being funny and whatever. And so that has kind of made the journey more, you know, easier for me to navigate and everything. And of course, you're gonna be duped from one time to another. And I wasn't too proud to ask, so I'd always ask them, you guys, how do you know, get your music out there and whatever? And you talk to the good guys and they're bad guys. You know, there's always gonna be a good guy and bad guy situation going on, and you just kind of navigate through all of that. So that has kept me safe, because I think the most important thing here is safety. You cannot sell yourself out for your God-given talent. It's not fair, because guys don't go through that, so why should we? You know? So it's been a breeze compared to the stories that I hear. People go through a lot, and I've been I've been comforted, and you know, I'm a Zai, I'm kept, you know.
So how would you advise a young female artist coming up? How should they navigate this whole space? Or what do you think you did, or maybe something that you think should be done to help, you know, these young female artists to be able to navigate?
I think don't go into this thing alone, because there's this thing, it's, oh, I'm the artist, so let me just go to Ningi's studio that you just looked up on Facebook. You need to have a relationship with these people first before you go. If you don't have a relationship of your own with these people, get someone who does, because there's always gonna be someone who knows someone, right? And you go there with someone who's gonna be able to protect you, because that's safety is key. Safety is key. And I think once you get like that, there's obviously going to be a clique that's going to be formed around you, because as artists we always kind of group together and whatever, because we are anomalies, most of us anyway. So we end up vibing to each other, and then we end up just becoming a clique. So I think that's how it will help you. If you have a clique, they're always going to be there for you. Go for a session, go with these people, you know, ask them how it's done, where it's done and whatnot, and I think you'll be fine.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Because I think maybe we have this mentality as well as female artists that, you know, what a man can do, a woman can do, but we are also still vulnerable. And if you're going to go into a bedroom studio, you know, what do you think will happen? Go with someone, you know, who you trust, who's able to actually stand in the gap for you, because it is dangerous out there.
Lots of vouchers.
And and you need to make sure you set the boundaries, you set the fence, so that you don't need to experience some of these things that potentially could go wrong.
I like that you said boundaries. Like recently when I went to a studio in town, I okay, let me not say dislike, but they have so much traffic there, right? So there's so many people. Just for me, when I'm recording, I like my energy to be in a certain way. So when there are other people, it just feels like it's going to be tainted or something. And I remember when my beat was now coming out, like we're waiting for someone's session to end, then my session came through. And dudes, we don't know each other, right? So they're like, oh, so what are you going to do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a rapper. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I would love to see it. And he made a comment, right? And the producer is the only person who knows who Cverb is. Or rather, I think they didn't know who, like my name even, right? And then when he passed that comment, right, I didn't respond. But the producer was like, you have no idea who you're speaking to. She does not go down like that. What do you mean? And I was proud that, wow, I don't even need to fight my own battles anymore. Like, people are like, no, she's church, so she's not going to be
she's
playing
not all
that,
about that.
you know? And I was like, okay. At least, you know, now I can, you know, be like, wherever I go, people are just going to give you, you know, your own lane. Like, okay, no, we are doing this, you do this, and it's fine.
It's protection.
So after a couple of years, it kind of builds, and people understand it. Okay, you don't roll like that.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. So I know that you have some material that you have been working on, you know, things you've been cooking for us.
I've been cooking.
Talk to us about your EP. I'm not sure when this will be airing, but it's probably just out or coming out real soon. Right? Talk to us about your EP. What is it called? What is it about? How did it come about?
Okay, so my EP came up as we were like, it's been 10 years. We want to have something out that's going to celebrate that. So initially it was supposed to be just a single. And people were like, come on, dude. It's been 10 years. You can't be on a single. I was like, okay. So let me put in, because I actually had a lot to say. So I was like, okay, we're going to name it Unplugged. Because also when I say Unplugged, people think, it's going to be an acoustic version or whatever. I'm like, no, Unplugged in the sense that I am not trying to, like, I'm not plugged into the main expectations that people have of me, or like the assumptions or the societal norms or whatever. I'm just gonna be raw and as authentic as I want to be. Like I was saying, as you get older, you become more bold with your expressions. So this is like my boldest expression yet. Like this EP is me 3D 4D, whichever definition is the best, like it's the I just dropped my lead single, Mudenga, right? Thank God. I did that with Pauline Genie, and Pauline and then GIL and Six the Law collaborated with the whole production, right? And the song talks about the us growing up, right? I lost my dad when I was 4, and I'm the last born. So the impact is different for all the other kids, right? Because they probably experienced it more than I did. And I have no memories of this. So as we're growing up, my mom's a single mom, she's hustling for us and all these things. And you just come through, demanding, Mom, I want to go for a trip. I want to do this. And she'd do it. And to me, it was normal. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, that woman was a superwoman. Like, what? And in everything I should do, she'd always make sure that we know where our source is from, and that's God. She should make sure that we know that, right? And so you hear this in the lyrics. I'm explaining how we came up, the struggles with school and the fees and right, but then we made it here because now my siblings we are all independent now. We can, we are able to give back to her and everything. So the song is actually called Thank God, and then Mudenga, of course, like Parata. So it's really, that's me being really open and personal with people. But it's not it's for you to be inspired and for you to see that there's hope, and that if you put your trust in God, really it's not gonna be perfect, but you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it out. So that's really the tone of the entire thing. It's gonna be really things that some people say they're actually shocked to hear in the tracks, and well, it is what it is, guys. And I'm gonna wear my heart on the sleeve for the team, so that people feel represented and uplifted.
How many tracks on?
It's 5.
5 tracks.
I tried, guys. It's 5.
Are we gonna have any additional visuals? So I know Mudenga has visuals. Are we gonna have more visuals for that?
We're definitely looking forward to. The dream is to actually have visuals for all of them. But if not, we'll just stick to the plan, which is 2.
Okay.
2, and then we'll see how it goes. Because also we want to resonate with the people. Like, so what do people, So we're just gonna see. I'm actually excited to see what people are gonna like more. The song that I picked, or
it's always tempting for us to think we know what people
Hey, the
and
people
then you discover good, people want something else. So it'd be interesting to just
see how it comes out.
It comes out, and then maybe do visuals for that particular one that people are enjoying more. And obviously I know that you're not based in Harare. What has it been like working on a project like that, traveling to Harare, or maybe, I don't know, where are you doing this work, and how has it been being an artist who's not based in Harare?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work because already I work in a remote town, right? So I'm based there. So that's already taking me away from home. And then Harare is the hub where I do everything, because I moved here when I was now starting this whole thing. So this is where my roots are at musically. And also I just, I don't know, I haven't found other people outside of Harare who I feel comfortable with like that. But so it was a lot, you have a concept, but you can't immediately be like, hey, I'm coming to studio, because you have to think about the whole, I'm going to travel.
Exactly.
And where are you going to stay and all these things. But okay, now it's not an issue anymore. But then I remember it was such a struggle. Okay, I have to do this. And sometimes you actually have to cram in 2 tracks
Yeah.
for one taking, which is exhausting because you want your music to have the energy and but then because of time and the traveling, you're like, you know what,
Exactly.
let's just do
I
a
have to do it,
marathon, and it's hectic, but it's a sacrifice. It's such a sacrifice because imagine on a weekend where I could just easily go to Bulawayo and just be with my family.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I need to go make music.
Yeah.
So we're going to Harare for the music.
Yeah.
And it's a bit lonely and it's so frustrating sometimes, but it has to be done. It has to be done, and we do it. And hopefully the results will be, abundant.
Yeah, guys, she has sacrificed a lot
A huge
just for this EP to come. But
Very
I'm sure it's
huge.
gonna be amazing because I listened to Mlinga, I watched the visuals, I thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So I can't wait to hear the rest of the music.
Yeah.
Recently, you shared or you opened the stage for Lecrae, and I know he inspires a lot of
Everybody.
the Christian hip hop artists in Zimbabwe. What was that like? Please tell us all about it. How did that opportunity come about? And what was it like?
See, I have to take a breath because what? It was something I'd never, to be honest with you, I never imagined in a million years I'd be on a stage like that.
Yeah.
But then when talks of him coming to town came through, I still didn't I was like, oh, I'm getting a ticket. I'm going to be there. Oh my gosh. And whatever. And they're like, what do you mean? You're going to be on the set list. I'm like, what? And I think I died for like 2 weeks. I was just going crazy. Like, oh my gosh, Lecrae. Oh my gosh. And even the build up. And I remember the show ended up being on a Monday because we're just like sitting to his tour dates and everything. This is Monday for an adult who works in a very strict environment. No one is giving you off time for such a thing, right? But I risked it all. Okay, not risked it. I just, ended up taking the day and it's a Monday. And people are like, who has a show on a Monday? And I was like, this is Lecrae, guys. I don't care. Okay, this is where we're going. And the support was amazing. The team came out. People came out on a Monday. I was shocked even by the turnout on a Monday, And I was nervous because I'm thinking, I need to put my best feet forward. There's no more, this is like a different type of stage. And so we did that, and there was Whistle and there was Jason, and we're all together just talking about it like, guys, we can't believe this is happening, and everyone showed out that night. People really showed out. And for me, the highlight was right after the stage, because you still kind of, it's like a frenzy, and you get off stage, and I'm still trying to catch my breath. They're like, come here, let's go meet Lecrae. I'm like, oh my gosh, and then, you get in there and you're so chilled. It's like, oh, that's a dope performance. And I'm thinking, what?
Yeah.
Wow, and I cannot believe you're right here, and that was amazing. That was amazing. So that will forever. I don't know. Maybe I'll not
go
even
down in the books.
myself. Yeah, it will. It will crystallize.
Yeah.
Right there.
I thoroughly enjoyed your performance.
Thank
you. You did an amazing job.
Thank you so much.
And I love the way that you actually explain the song. Like for some of us, we don't know Ndebele, right? But like you'd explain the song and what it means, and have us singing along in a different language. That was amazing, So well done for that.
Thank you so much.
It was an amazing performance.
Thank you.
So obviously that is a one in a lifetime opportunity, right? Do you think that there are enough opportunities or places for Christian hip hop artists in Zim?
In Zim, if I'm being candid and honest, please do not come for me. But I think we are the underdogs of the industry. We are all gospel. We're all preaching the light and everything. But you still get that the platforms that are like put up for these people, or rather for gospel artists, we are not counted in. Or if you're counted in, you're brought in as an extra. Like you're not like you're not part of the line like that. You're like, oh, you're just gonna fill in the gap and whatever. So people don't take us seriously. And maybe that's also our fault, because maybe we have inconsistencies, and maybe we also had quality challenges back then. But I think people have stepped up now. I think we deserve platforms that even elevate beyond the borders, because people are working, people are putting in the work, you know. I'm also putting in the work. Okay, like we're actually working, like even the quality of the performances. It's not kuti because no, it's not like that. People actually are putting in work, you know, and I think we deserve it. And also us, we realize that, okay, we keep on being the outcasts, and now people are creating their own platforms, and we might just go back to the glory days, because you know, like CHH was such a thing that people would actually want to be a part of it back then, like in the 2012s and etc. Like another time when the Lecrae came through, that time CHH was on fire and everything, and then we kind of all fell into a sleep, and then so we're coming back, and I'm sure building is not easy, but we will get there.
What do you think needs to be done for you to get more recognition, maybe from you, but also from just industry as well? What do you think Zimbabweans can do to actually get those opportunities to where they need to be?
I think from us, we would definitely need to push more on our own exposure. People have to see what we're about. Like, people have to see the impact that we have on society. Like, it's beyond the stage. We have people who go to schools and impact the kids. We should be seen doing that as well. You know, like making a positive change in the society, because now we are plagued with drugs and addictions and all these things, and our music could actually help people cope. And I feel like we just need to look serious, have real brands, like have real portfolios, like things that people can actually buy into. And then on the side of the people, I think people really also just need to like uncap their minds, because people, when they just see Christian hip or just Christian, they're just like, you know,
definitely.
So before you even give it a chance, so it's also a mindset shift that's needed.
Definitely. I fully agree with you on that one. I think a lot of our fellow listeners think that gospel or Christian music is supposed to sound a certain way, and when it doesn't sound like that, they're like, it's not. Because I think I was talking to another fellow hip hop artist, and they were asking me, you know, and I want to get onto these platforms for Christian music, and I was like, that platform is trying to teach old dog new tricks, and I don't think we're successful. We would be very successful in that. Direct your energies there, because I feel like the moment you go to those Christian platforms, they're like, I know it's a Jesus church, and then they actually shut the door on you, and now you're trying to fight.
It's an unending battle. Like, it's not worth it. Yeah.
But like you're saying, if we were to actually increase our or develop a taste for different sounds,
right?
Because I know that, you know, God created us differently, and we don't all like the same music.
No, we don't.
And so, you know, for those people who are Christian and also want hip hop, you know, there should be something there for them.
They can like
and
tap
it's okay.
into. Yeah.
And it's okay. Yeah. You know, if for Christians who want pop music or R&B music, there should be music for them as well. So I think we definitely need to like educate. Maybe also it's our part. We need to play our part to
be
educate
out there,
and market, so that people do know that that music is there. And
they're not trying to teach their kids to shoot and be, you know, outward, because people associate hip hop with a lot of negativity.
Yes.
So there's like there was a time when I used to have the energy to fight people in the comments. Now I'm just like, to each their own, my brother. It's fine. It's fine.
If that's your opinion,
right?
It's fine.
It's okay. People bring out verses like, you know, I'm like, where does God say do not make hip hop? Like, what are you saying? You know. So it's there's a lot of awareness that needs to be done.
But I guess it's platforms like this as well, where we get to talk about hip hop and the heart behind the kind of music that you're doing, and people get to see that, you know what, it's not what the picture that has been painted. There are other pictures, or there are other stories, there are other things that
could be told.
Benefits that can come from from this. All right. So now we've come to the part of the podcast where the interviewer becomes the interviewee, and you get to ask me any questions. I don't know if you have any questions for me,
I have
Cverb.
questions.
All right. So you can go
questions. So this is not the first time I'm seeing you.
Yes.
I've been seeing you for years, right? And I was still a nobody. I wasn't even doing music when I started seeing you. And I remember every time when they'd call you up on stage, they'd say TaffyRue. And I'm thinking, you're expecting two people to come up. And it is one person. And I remember always being quizzed, like, where's the other? Where's the person missing? What's happening? And but it was cool. It was cool watching you. And then there was a time when you just you were gone. And then you came back. So what made you come back after the gap?
Yes, that's always an interesting story to talk about. So like I think we talked about it earlier, where female musicians come up and you're like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, and then they just go MIA. And I was one of those people. And I got married, and then I continued for a bit.
It's his fault.
No, it's not even his fault. I actually ramped up when I got married. I think 2014. That's when I was that's when I got married. But I was doing talent shows, and then I actually released singles collection there, and then I was working on an album actually. Then I got pregnant, and then my voice just went, like I couldn't sing. Literally couldn't sing. And now I'm actually discovering that a lot of females actually go through this, but nobody has ever spoken about it. Or maybe there was just not enough information out there, or people talking or sharing their experiences. I lost my voice, so I had no idea, and I thought that was like the end of my career. It's gone. It was a really important time for me because I really got to question why I was doing music. And God really just used that time for me to come back to him, because I think somewhere along the line I had just lost the plot in terms of why I was doing music. I think to some extent my voice had also become an idol. And so then that time I decided to do a lot, or pour my life into, like, bring it on, because I was like, if I can't sing, God can help me empower the next generation of musician and artists. And as I did that, my voice slowly started coming back. And then that's when I decided to start music again, but then finances and being a mother and all dynamics of that then delayed the comeback. So I got my voice back at about 2019. That's when I started singing again.
So that's like 5 years of your voice gone.
It was gone. Yeah, it was not 5 years as such, probably about 2. So 2015, going on to 16 and 17. And then 18, so 2-3 years I couldn't sing. And then slowly but surely it came back 2019, but money. Then 2022, that's when I came back with my first single.
Came back together, and what a single that was.
It was okay.
Come on, we were there. Okay, also because I grew up watching, so I'm like, this is dope, she's back, and we're excited to see that. And Bring It On is such an amazing platform.
We thank God for it. I thank God for it. I think God has done so many amazing things through the platform, and I'm so grateful for the artists that are coming out now.
So many, like, you have no idea the stories that people come through and just share on a random, not because you guys are there, we met these people through Bring It On, and we did this through. It's such an amazing connection that you guys are making for the artists, and kudos to you guys.
We thank God. We thank God for, we're just vessels, honestly, and I think because it was there before us, Bring It On was there before us, and it will definitely continue after us. So we are just privileged to have that opportunity to to be part of
to be part of it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's all from me today.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming, Cverb.
Thank you for having me.
I think this chat was long overdue because, you know, there are very few of us who are in the urban gospel space, and these conversations are important.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so that we empower the next generation.
Yeah.
To keep with the tools that they need.
Yeah.
So that they.
And now I think the tools are like more available for them.
They're more available.
Yeah.
And they can always reach out to us, you know, and, you know, ask us for advice. We're open to it, you know, because we want to make sure there's more females.
Yes, there
dominating
definitely
the
has to
industry,
be more.
You know, because we have stories that, you know, the gents, you know, might not be able to touch on.
Yeah.
And people that can be encouraged by the message that we have.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have any advice, before we close off this chat, any advice that you have, maybe the best piece of advice that you were given, or maybe advice that you wish you had gotten when you started, that you can share. You can look into the camera and, share with the upcoming artists.
Okay, I think the best advice that I ever got was to be unapologetic about your craft. Do not be ashamed of what you believe in, because at the end of the day, it's really just you versus you, nobody else. And that's it. Stick to your lane.
Powerful words right there.
Thank you.
There you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Features by TaffyRue. You heard it for yourself. Stay in your lane. It's gonna be you versus you. What is it gonna be in the end? Are you going to keep pursuing that craft that you've been given by God, or are you gonna let it fall by the wayside? So keep at it. Keep doing what you've been called to do. And with that, until next time, goodbye.